All right, Eagles Nation, we are up to week 8 of the NFL season. The Eagles, of course, enter 3-4, playing the 5-1 Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park, New York, against the Bills Mafia there, and of course the Buffalo faithful. Obviously, as it's been, well documented, the Eagles are struggling right now. Last two games have gone pathetically, including the 37-10 loss last week in primetime football against the hated Cowboys. But you know what? It's a new week. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened this week, a lot of negatives, a lot of finger pointings, former Eagles going off. See, this is why you don't get former Cowboys on the Eagles, by the way, okay? Orlando Scandrick. This is why the Eagles should not get former Cow, because they're just, But anyhow, all that being said, it's a must-win game, and I understand that the Eagles, the last 2 weeks have looked downright awful, and, that's putting it nicely. And they are playing against a team that is playing with confidence. I mean, obviously the Bills are 5-1. Probably not going to win the division. That's probably still going to be the Patriots again this year. But they look to be a possible playoff team, and, they are playing it, like I said, with confidence. Their defense is flying around, making plays, getting turnovers. Their offense isn't the most scariest thing in the world, obviously, coming off 2 straight weeks where the Eagles' defense obviously looked horrendous against Minnesota and against Dallas. But I guess the one thing we can say about this week is the Bills really do not have that big-time playmaking wide receiver as we've seen in recent weeks. They do have some receivers that, they're decent. They have like John Brown, I believe, is one of their receivers, and our old buddy from Dallas, Mr. Cole Beasley, of course, is there. And look, stop me if you heard this one before, but if this defensive line does not get pressure on Allen, I mean, he's, like every other quarterback, is going to pick them apart. Maybe it'll be a lot more of the underneath type stuff instead of the long, deep passes because, Josh Allen isn't the greatest accurate long passer, and plus the fact the weather's going to play a role tomorrow. It's supposed to be, pretty heavy rain in Buffalo, as it is going to be here too in the Philly area. But at the same time, so maybe one of the biggest weaknesses of the Eagles' defense won't be able to be exploited that much tomorrow. But at the same time, and again, if you're going to give Allen time, yeah, he can extend plays with his feet. He's a mobile quarterback. Get those first downs by running, and also, again, the underneath stuff. The Eagles are paper thin right now at linebacker. Nigel Bradham, again, isn't going to play this week. They pick up guys off the scrap heap, and, I don't know. The underneath, routes could be there for Buffalo, and maybe the Eagles get dinked and dunked to that tomorrow afternoon. But, we'll see. Obviously, not great deal of confidence in the defense right now, the way they've played. Not a great deal of confidence in the offense either. I do believe that this is a game that Carson Wentz has got to win. He has got to put this game on it. He's got to put this team on his back and do what he has to do to get a win in Buffalo. Because, like I said, it's week 8. But it's a must-win game. I know it's before Halloween, talking about must-wins. But at 3-4, you don't want to go to 3-5. Even though, like I said before, I don't think Dallas is going to run away with the division, run away and hide. But at the same time, 3-5 is really not where you want to be. 3-4 is not where you want to be, but certainly 3-5 is not where you want to be, even though the next 3 games, and of course there's a bye week too, the next 3 games are at home, but you got the Bears defense coming in, you got the GOAT Brady, and you got the Danger Russ and the Seahawks coming in. So that's not looking overly the way the Eagles are playing right now. That's not looking overly appetizing at this point. But again, this is a very big game. Obviously, if the Eagles can get this one, get the 4-4. the Bears' offense is not that good either. I know they have a good defense, although their defense hasn't played tremendously in recent weeks. So you go up against, maybe you get a home win against Chicago, maybe you get some momentum. You got the bye week, and then you got the Patriots coming in. And their offense hasn't looked that great, but they're still the Patriots. And then you got the Seahawks. So who knows if you split those games, you're still looking really good. And then we get to the underbelly of the schedule, right? You got teams like the Dolphins, the Redskins, the Giants. Although the Giants are a little improved now with Jones there at quarterback, but you got the Giants twice and then a rematch against Dallas, which will be a huge game, with division, championship aspirations on the line when the Cowboys come into Lincoln Financial Field later in the season. But we'll worry about that game at that time. Right now, obviously, it's Buffalo. It's a huge game. Like I said, it's a must-win. And like I said, it is a game where I'd like to see number 11 put this team on his back and really start to get some good football going. I know, again, this week, no D-Jack, so the deep threat is gone. But I do want to see more out of Carson Wentz. I mean, this guy I still believe is the franchise quarterback, is the future of this team. Going to have some good seasons with him. Going to have some, deep playoff runs with him, down the road. But it's got to start. And he looked great. He was a league MVP a few years ago if he didn't get hurt against the Rams. In the year, of course, where the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl. But really, since that season, he's been, up and down. And I know he's battled some injuries, and there's been some inconsistencies with the wide receivers, the drops, everything. So not everything is all on Carson, but at the same time, I want to see him play better. And I know tomorrow you're playing against a really good defense, and the weather is not, going to be great. But I still want to see Carson Wentz have a big game. I still want to see him, again, look, there's been a lot of negative talk, a lot of, the mouthpieces are going on different, local networks and whatnot, and then the he said stuff. And, again, drown out the noise. I want to see number 11 play better. I want to see Doug Peterson have a better game, too. Of course, as the head coach. Obviously, the defense, I believe they'll play better this week because the team that they're going up against doesn't have a great offense. So they're not going to be a team that's going to score a ton of points. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game. The weather is going to be a factor and whatnot. Going into the game, though, even without D-Jax, I do think the Eagles have more offensive weapons than the Bills do. And even though the Bills are a good defense, I still think the Eagles' offense has some chances to make some plays against that defense, opposed to what Buffalo is going to be able to do against the Eagles' defense. Even though the Eagles' defense has been, in recent weeks, not very good. But again, look, these guys, hey, if they have any pride in them, they'll come out tomorrow and they'll, play certainly better than they have in recent weeks. And again, like I said, there's not a ton of explosive players on Buffalo's offense. I mean, the quarterback can run around and make plays himself. The running back, of course, future Hall of Famer Frank Gore. But at an advanced age, is he really going to be the difference maker in this game? Probably not. So it's going to come down to what offense is going to be able to make more plays, and I do believe it would be the Eagles. When you look at the Eagles' offensive weapons, even without D-Jax, they have more than what Buffalo does. And again, Buffalo has a very good defense, but I think if we're talking about a game where it's going to come down to what team is going to be able to make more offensive plays against the other, I still say it's the Eagles over what Buffalo has to offer. So again, like I said, I want to see a great game out of number 11. He's got to take care of the football too. I mean, if the Eagles turn the ball over, Buffalo lives off of turnovers. They just do. They live off of turnovers. Again, it's not an explosive offense, so you don't want to give them short fields to work with. And the kicking game can be an issue too in this rain and whatnot there. But you don't want to set their offense up at short field. So that means the offense has to, not have those turnovers. And that's one of the things that really hurt them, particularly early in the game last week against Dallas. Their first drive, Dallas Goedert, fumbles the ball. And that sets the tone for Dallas, gives them a shorter field. They go in for a touchdown, and basically it sets the tone for the whole game. So what the Eagles have to do this week is limit the turnovers, limit the mistakes. And, find ways. Find ways to get it done. And again, I'm looking at number 11 tomorrow. I mean, if he's going to be the leader that he says he is, and there's been all this talk about Nick Foles and this and that and the other thing, it's got to start. It's got to start now. And again, I mean, this is a vitally important game. And if the Eagles can, again, get out of this road trip and get out of Buffalo with a win, I mean, I'll gladly take that over the alternative. Going 0-3 on the road trip and 3-5, and the sky's continuing to fall, and what are we going to do? Because again, I mean, you look at what this game does. It could set things up. If they can get a win here to go to 4-4, maybe Howie makes some moves. He hasn't done it so far this season, but maybe he can make some moves, some trades, get some help in areas where they need help in. And now, maybe you beat the Bears next week, and now you start going on a roll. I know there's a bye week after that. Guys can maybe get a chance to get healthy. Maybe Djax comes back. If he doesn't play next week against Chicago, maybe he comes back for the Patriots in a huge game there, of course, Super Bowl 52 rematch and all. But maybe this team can get better. And again, it starts tomorrow at Buffalo. You put the past, how many games behind you. If you can get a win, and it will be a measuring stick, I think, for this team and where this team is. If they play the way they did the last 2 weeks, they're going to lose, and it's going to be same old, same old. If they can get a win here, I think, and like I said, it could be a galvanizing type thing. You win a big game on the road. Howie makes a few moves. You win against Chicago next week. Now all of a sudden you're 5-4. Is it great? No, but is it the alternative? Is it horrendous? I would say no, because you're going to lose games in this league. It's going to happen. Only one team has ever gone completely start to finish undefeated, and that was the 72 Dolphins. I know the Patriots went undefeated in the regular season before losing to the Giants in the Super Bowl. But for the most part, I mean, there are going to be ebbs and flows in a season, and injuries and inconsistencies are going to be part of it. But again, if they can, again, survive this, they're starting to get some guys back off the injured list. I think Darby comes back this week. I know he hasn't been great shakes, but he comes back off the injured list. We got Jalen Mills back last week. Yes, they're not Jalen Ramsey. They're not Minkah Fitzpatrick, but they are upgrades of what we had on the field at cornerback. So, hey, anything's possible. I mean, if any team knows how to overcome adversity, it's this one. And again, like I said, it has to start tomorrow against Buffalo. Find a way, even if it's a sloppy, low-scoring game, just come out of there with a win. That's all I want tomorrow is a win, okay? I want to have a happy Halloween, all right? So let's get a win. And enough of this, all this he said crap, and the former Eagle saying crap on other, networks and whatnot. Enough of that. Let's just get back to football, okay? Let's get back to football. Let's get back to winning. Get a win tomorrow against Buffalo. Get a win next week against the Bears, and you go into the bye week, and we're all feeling a little better about things. So it starts, like I said, it starts tomorrow at Buffalo. Tough opponent that's playing well right now, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, they live off turnovers, so if we can limit the turnovers, get a chance for a victory, and then, we'll worry about the rest of the season as it comes week to week to week. So anyhow, that's my take on this week's game. Hopefully we can, like I said, we can start correcting the ship, start righting the ship, start pointing it in the right direction, get a win in Buffalo, and find a way, to start, correcting things and to, do things that we were hoping this team could do before the season started. So, we'll see. And as always, of course, now, well, I shouldn't say as always, because last week had to have a bye week for the Festive Four, but it is the Festive Four. 4-pack of Festive Feels will be winners this week. So here we are with this week's Festive Four. Yes, I know Festive. A couple weeks ago, it was another 500 week. 2-2, but Festive's record so far, obviously last week's impromptu bye week notwithstanding, is 15-9 going into week 8. Hopefully, Festive's hoping to be above 500 this week with the picks. But Festive's hoping for 4-0. It hasn't happened so far this season. Of course, 0-4 hasn't happened either, so that's a good thing. But Festive's hoping to go 4-0 this week, and we'll see. So here are the picks from Festive. These are the teams, again, that Festive feels are going to win this week. The heck with the point spreads, is just pure winners. So let's go right off the bat. Festive likes Seattle against those those crumbling dirty birds in Atlanta. Seattle to bounce back after a loss last week. Festive feels they're going to get the win against Atlanta. Festive also likes Detroit over the Giants as the second pick. Festive also likes Indianapolis over Denver as pick number 3. And finally, for pick number 4 and the finale of this week's Festive 4, Festive likes the Los Angeles Rams over the winless Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Festive has gone against the Bengals a few times this season already, and so far so good with that. The Bengals, like the Dolphins, the only 2 teams in the league yet to win a game. And sometimes it's dangerous to pick against a team that has yet to win a game. But Festive feels pretty good again with Jalen Ramsey there with the Rams and getting a win there against Cincinnati and keeping the Bengals winless. So anyhow, that is the Festive 4 for this week. Again, to recap, Seattle over Atlanta, Detroit over the Giants, Indianapolis over Denver in the Battle of the Horses, and the Rams over Cincinnati, and Festive feels the Bengals will continue to be winless on the season. So that's it. That is the Festive 4. There is no more. And there's no more for this video. Thanks for watching. As always, feel free to do all those things that you have to do with YouTube. Subscribe, comment, leave the like, because you know likes are better than the alternative. And like I said, we are hoping for better things this week with the Eagles. We're hoping to get back in the winning ways, get a win in Buffalo, start turning this thing around, because it's not fun when they don't win. You know, it's just, and you have to go a whole nother week, and we're hoping for better things. Anyhow, for Festive, oh, one more thing. Festive wants to show this because, you know, the start of the Flyer season, of course, has been here. The Sixers, of course, too. And I was at the Flyers game this past Monday against Vegas in a 6-2 Flyers win. Shout out to my buddy Mark M. Festive was excited for that win too. Festive's also excited for the 4-1 win against Chicago the other night. Now, of course, tonight they play at home against Columbus. The Sixers, of course, go to Detroit. So big night for Philly sports. And the one thing that we saw at the Flyers game that was pretty interesting was the Flyers version of Festive. I thought this was kind of interesting. The Flyers have their version of Festive here for sale at the Fan Gear shop. And Festive felt very honored. Flyers. How ironic it was that all of a sudden, you know, we do these vids with Festive. Festive's a Flyers fan, and now the Flyers felt, you know, hello, we're going to make our own little Festive. So it's the Flyers Festive. And Festive's a little jealous of the shirt, though. But it's okay, Festive. So anyhow, this is Flyer. And Flyer is, of course, Flyers fan like Festive. And like I said, it pretty much is the Flyers version of Festive. Festive, I know imitation sometimes is the best form of flattery. So anyhow... Here we go. The Flyers Festive right there, all decked out in the Flyers shirt. Hoping for good things this season for the Flyers, and Festive does hope for another win tonight against those Blue Jackets, who gave the Flyers some trouble over the years. So we got to get a win tonight against the Blue Jackets on a Halloween night at Wells Fargo Center. Their Halloween game, I should say. Halloween, of course, this coming Thursday. And, of course, I'm hoping, of course, to see you again after the Eagles game tomorrow. Hope to make a little post-game reaction vid of the Eagles versus Bills. And I guess that's the next time you'll be seeing me here on YouTube. So hopefully it will be a cheerful victory. Hopefully it will be a victory. I should say hopefully it's a cheerful video. Hopefully it will be a victorious video in a win against Buffalo. And we'll see how things go. Okay, as always, let's go Birds. Let's get a win. Finally, let's get back in the win column tomorrow for Festive, for the Flyers version of Festive. This is Mighty Fan saying I'll see you in the next video. Go Birds, and let's get a big win in Buffalo tomorrow. All right, bye. Festive and I would like to remind you, if you enjoyed the content of this video, and why wouldn't you have? It's a wonderful channel. Go ahead and leave that like, comment below, because, you know, we always enjoy communicating, and go ahead and subscribe. And why wouldn't you subscribe? You know, because Festive has ways of finding people if they don't. Just saying. But anyhow, go ahead and subscribe. And once you do subscribe, make sure to click that bell icon. That way then you'll be alerted to any new content from this channel. And you do want to be alerted because why wouldn't you? So anyhow, enjoy the contents to come from this channel. And go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, click bell icon, all the stuff that, you know, you should be doing, because if you're on YouTube, you should be doing it. So go ahead and do it, and enjoy the YouTube-ness out there. Did that work? Hopefully. Spike the ball. No? Doesn't feel like it.